Hi Ella, amazing. You did it. What do they say in America? It's called a home run, yeah? No, not a home run. Like you knocked it out of the ballpark or something like that. You have become an exceptionally talented photographer. These pictures are absolutely worthy of charging money for. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kol hakavod. Fantastic. And the best bit is that you are using a very basic camera. So, big thumbs up. Okay, let's look at the... let's get to the boring stuff, so to speak. It's not that boring, though. Okay, so this is your... Let's bring up a little post-it note here. So your first picture was shot at a 1/60th of a second at 5.6 at 1600 ISO. Okay. Let's look at the next picture. Now you are at a 500th of a second at f4 at 6400 ISO. So let's work this out, okay? So I'm sad I know the numbers off by heart, so I'll just do it quickly. So a 60th goes to a 1/125th, a 1/250th, a 1/500. So the first variable, the shutter speed, we were minus 3 stops. Okay, now 5.6 to f4 is adding 1 stop. So I should have written there minus 3. Oh, what happened there? I'm in Hebrew for some bizarre reason. Second, minus 3, still in Hebrew, okay, so 5.6 to 4 is plus 1, and now 1600 to 6400 is 1600, 3200, 6400, plus 2, which means we take away 3, we add 1, we add 2, that's back to the beginning. Excellent, excellent. And let's just look at the next one just to see. We can also see the difference, by the way, very importantly, is in this picture here, where we have a shutter speed of a 60th of a second, we can see that there is a lot more movement than at a 500th of a second. Okay, and can we see any difference in depth of field? It's so minimal that you can't really. But here, for sure, we will be able to. Let's have a look at this one now. So we went from, we know that all these stats are the same, so we can just get rid of all of this. Okay. Get rid of all of that. Go back to English. Okay, so now this next picture is at a 4,000th of a second at f2 at 12,800. Wow, you really funked up these settings, that's fine. So from a 60th of a second to 4,000, we go 1/125th, 250, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. That's minus 6 stops. Okay, from 5.6 to f2, we go 5.6, f4, 2.8, 2, that is plus 3. So now I'm assuming that 1,280 is going to be plus 3 of 1,600. So we have 1,600, 3,200, 6,400, 12,800 plus 3. We have minus 6 plus 3 plus 3 equals 0. Excellent. Okay, that is photography. That is photography. Understanding that is understanding photography. Now we need to understand the effects from aperture, the effects from shutter speed. We know that there's no effect from ISO. It's just a negative side effect. And you're in class 5, so you've learned now that the rules are shutter speed should be quickish. It doesn't need to be quickest. It needs to be quickish, because in portrait photography we're never dealing with things that are moving crazy fast. The most important thing about shutter speed is that there's no camera shake, okay, which is, remember, around a 200, 250th. Once you're above a 250th, like 320th, 400, 500 is fantastic. Then you really don't have to think about it at all. Aperture, we want to have our widest aperture because we want to have the blurriest background, but remember, we can never compromise our subject, which means we always need to be using an aperture that will give us enough depth of field that will make sure that our subject is in focus. So if it's one person, 1.8 is fine. If it's two people, then better to start moving to like 2.2, something like that. Three people, 2.5, 2.8, just to make sure, because when you've got a bunch of people, people are forward, people are backwards, so we need more depth of field, okay? And then ISO should always be lowish. Remember, you don't need to bust your head trying to get the lowest, but it's a nice thing to see here on your camera, a T7i, which is a very basic camera, as in an entry-level camera. It's very modern though, it's very new, so it's still an excellent camera. You can see at 12,800 ISO, it is quite noisy. At 6,400 ISO, it's still quite noisy. At 1,600 ISO, it is fine. Okay, it's still more noisy than a professional camera would be, but it really is fine. Okay, excellent, fantastic. Okay, this is a gorgeous picture. Beautiful picture. You've selected a perfect background, vibrant greens bouncing out. I generally recommend my clients not to wear kind of very loud, hard patterns, but I feel this has kind of worked. It's really balanced the image, because our point of entry is her eyes. We move over this direction, but this is creating very strong tension. So even though our eyes are moving this way, this is helping to balance the composition. Excellent. We're in close. The hands aren't cut off. Our face comes in here, even though there's a tension moving this way. Our eye moves around this way. Excellent. In regards to the light on the hair, it could be argued it's a little too heavy, but it's not such a big deal, and I don't think there'd be much way of changing that, of doing something different. Maybe shooting in RAW could help you bring back a little bit of highlight, but this is great. This is website worthy. Excellent. Okay, another gorgeous picture, gorgeous little kid. Let's just look at the stats here quickly. Are these good, perfect, or not so good? Perfect. Even though I recommend using 200 ISO, if you're at 1,000th of a second, there's no need to be at 200 ISO. You've got lots of leeway to make your shutter speed slow if you need to. Excellent stats. And same here, f2. So f2 is actually interesting. You've managed to get both eyes pin sharp, which is great. We could brighten this up a little bit in post. This could be cropped a slither off here and a teeny bit extra over here. You understand why? Because our point of entry is the face, and now we're moving this direction. Moving in this direction. So to have a little bit extra room here might give a slightly nicer feeling. Background again is excellent, well chosen. Oh, beautiful, gorgeous photography. Excellent. Might crop a teeny little bit off of the side over here. This is really, don't even know if I would do that. Exceptional. I think we'll take this one into post. We just need to brighten up her face a teeny little bit, but in camera I don't think this picture can get much better. And like I said again, and always the most exciting bit of it is that you're using like entry level equipment, which means that when you do decide to jump into a professional camera, you're gonna be blown away. Excellent photography, beautiful pose, stats are perfect. Lovely depth by framing our subject here. The green comes all the way around, so this matches up with here, gives us a unified feel to the picture. Beautiful, really a beautiful gaze. You've managed to get the subject's attention. The light on her hair is beautiful. Lovely movement around here. Again, this little bit of foliage here is stopping us from falling out of the picture here. Really exceptional, excellent. Okay, so we need to. This is interesting because the baby here has obviously got deformity. It would be. I mean, this is a challenging subject. I would be coming around from this side more to like exactly here, because that really de-emphasizes the deformity here. You've done exceptionally well, really. definitely would like to see some eye contact. This basket with the texture pouring out here is fantastic. I love the texture, the pastel texture in the background with the vibrant colours, and with this kind of soft white fluff, you know, whatever you would call this, hairy kind of rug pouring down with this beautiful circle here. Really excellent choice of props. And this is difficult to deal with, but you've done exceptionally well. Beautiful. Okay, a special baby. Baruch Hashem. I would crop a little bit closer here, and I think you can see, we can't see, I think you've, for this one you took him out of the basket, her out of the basket, and you've put her on, or him on the rock. This is great. But this is what I would be looking at. It would be helpful to try and have the baby looking upwards a little bit higher. It's very difficult, I know, to deal with that kind of thing, to have somebody try and catch their attention. But the props here that you've used are excellent. This circle is adding a lot of beautiful energy. This pouring fluffy texture is also adding a lot of very nice energy, and the green at the background, which ties in with the points of green over here, also adds a lot to it. Excellent, excellent. Okay, let's take, oh, there's such nice pictures. Let's take this one. Not that it's the best picture, I think I like this picture a lot. Maybe it is my favourite one here. Let's take this one into Lightroom, see what we can do. One second. Okay, so there really isn't that much to do. The most important thing here is just to brighten her face. So let's open up our pen tool. It's very simple. Brighten her face a little bit. There we go. And I think we might soften it a teeny drop. And I think I am going to go into her eyes with the iris enhance, which is already selected. There we go. See, I would really like to take the blue out of here, but you'd have to take that into Photoshop, which I'm not going to do. We could maybe put up the highlights a teeny drop. There we go. That's nice. And maybe open up the shadows. There we go. Make the eyes a little bit more piercing. I think I would also like to just accentuate her lips a teeny little bit, which means to add a little bit of clarity and a little bit of saturation, and to brighten them a teeny little bit. One second. So now you can see her eyes are they're a little overdone. So we can go back to our tool, press H so we can see our point. What's this from? This was her face. So let's go back to here. Like I said, it was a little overdone, so we can zoom out here, get rid of the point so we can see what it's doing. Now I think we will drop the highlights down a little bit. That's a bit better. There we go. I really don't think there's that much else to do here. We could potentially soften the background a little bit, but we're really like kind of clutching at straws for improvement over here. You nailed it. You really nailed it. One second. Let's just soften it a teeny bit more. See, it really is not, I mean, it's really not adding much at all. And we could put up the saturation a teeny little bit. And maybe a slight vignette. Let's have a look. Very slight. Beautiful. So we went from here, let's just get rid of all the stuff. From here to here, really not much improvement. Just the brightening of the face was quite important. Excellent. Really amazing. You've become a professional photographer. You are absolutely 100% entitled to charge money for your photography. Jump in. Don't just remember, no one's going to come and say, okay, I mean, I just did, but no one else is going to say, right, now it's time. You have to make the decision yourself. Jump in. Many people have done it in the past, and many people are going to do it in the future, and you might as well just jump on the bandwagon. You can earn yourself some extra money now, and start building up the website. Keep shooting as much as you can, and looking forward to seeing what you do for us next week. All the best.